Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the epidemic. My name is Narb. So for a while here, I was trying to figure out a few tutorials that I might want to make for you guys, and there was definitely one that was on the top of my mind, and that is bunkers. So yeah, as you can see here, I made a few bunkers. I made a pretty big one, a medium-sized one over here, and a smaller one down here. Now here's a really cool thing about this. Once you download this map, if you want to, you could just go to whatever bunker you like the most, or all of them I guess, and you can multi-select all the pieces that you want from each bunker, turn it into one piece, and then move it wherever you want, or even duplicate it so that you can have another bunker. So you don't even have to make this, you could just take it if you really want to. So that means I don't even have to rip this thing apart for you guys to understand it, but I will go over them pretty briefly just so you have a basic understanding of what I was thinking of when I was making them. So here's the first bunker right here. Definitely my favorite. It's pretty big, it's narrow, it's pretty I guess low to the ground, so you could really use the roof and however you want to. I guess you could put like a banshee up here, you could put a landing pad, some turrets here on the side, and more crates. I don't know. So it's really up to you, and that's kind of what I did for most of these bunkers, is I left them pretty empty. So as you can see in here, not much, and that's just so you guys can really customize them how you want them to be. So I didn't really put anything in your way. There is a pillar here. If you want to get rid of that, you can, but yeah, pretty empty in here. Here's the front. I like the front a lot. As you can see, it's at a slant, and I just feel like that's a pretty good bunker look. And for the walls, I used a wall detailed, which can be found in the accents tab, along with the trims. And these are detailed because I wanted the paint on them. The normal walls don't have paint, but I really think that the paint makes it pop, so I chose this one. You could obviously change the color to whatever you want, and I just picked white and orange. And so yeah, that's this part. I think they're at a 10-degree angle, not too sure. In between here we have some stairs to give it a more industrial look, more human. And then finally on the back right here we have two windows. You could get rid of this piece right here if you just wanted maybe just one really big window, and this block I guess could be whatever you want. Anything that just makes it so that there's some separation between these two windows will work pretty well. And for the I guess window base right here, I used the wall that we used up here, except I flipped it upside down, so now you could see the black part, which I think looks a little bit better. And up here we have the trims, and they're kind of at a different angle. I just flipped them around a little bit just to give it sort of an awning looking, I guess, piece, and I don't know, I think it looks pretty good. And then to finally finish off the bunker, I used some pretty meaty blocks for all the corners, and it just gives it some more structure. And I guess again you could use whatever block that you see fit. And so if we go over here to the second base, you can see this has more of an overlooking kind of feel. So I guess if you wanted to put maybe a turret right here, or a sniper or something, just something to make it worth, you know, looking out here would be pretty neat. And it's pretty basic, so I really wanted it to be easy to get onto the roof, so I made the geometry of the front part right here kind of just like natural for you to walk up. So you know, it's kind of at an angle, and then boom, here you are on the roof. You could change whatever you want up here. You could get rid of these railings, you could add more crates. Again, it's totally up to you. And these blocks right here, I just used a 24 by 48 by 12, and really anything could work as long as it's somewhat narrow enough for you to have space for a door. And to just complement the door a little bit, I put some more trim pieces that we saw over here, except this time they're at a vertical type of dimension. And so let's go inside here. The basic room is pretty much just the letter T, so if you wanted to make something similar, just think of that. And it will get a little bit dark in here, so I put some lights on the walls, and I think they look pretty nice. Of course, if you want to, you could get rid of them, but I like them. And then to finish off the front, I used an 80 by 80 by 24 half, and that gives it more of a curve, so you have a bit more room to expand on. And then to complement it on each side, I use these 24 by 48 by 12s just to give it some more structure. And to add some more texture, I used an accent wall 12 by 60 by 16, and these are tapered, they look pretty neat because you could really customize the colors on these, so it gives it some really nice contrast with whatever color you decide to make that block. And I really like the textures down here. You could see the wires and stuff like that. And then finally I used a heavy barrier and I put it in the middle here just to kind of split off everything to give it a very nice symmetrical look. And if you want to make it look a bit higher than it really is, you could add some rocks like I did. And really, this wasn't that high in the air. It is on a hill, but I added these rocks just to make it look a bit more, I don't know, rocky, I guess. And it's kind of more on a cliff side of something, so you can arrange them how you want to, but I just thought that was a pretty neat trick. And then finally here we are on the third base. This one kind of looks like a generator, but I wanted it to be more like a garage almost, but I guess it could work as both. And here it is, you know, just the main part of this are some ramps, and I kind of separated them a little bit with these very thin blocks. And if you really wanted to, you can make it totally smooth and more of like a jump almost, which actually that'd be pretty cool. And then to complement it on each side, I put these rings, and they look pretty neat. And since there's a little gap in these rings, I put some doors here. This is an accent door, and you know, it's got the caution tape on it. I really like the texture on this, and I made it look like it was kind of caught in something, so I put some sparks there, and it's not all the way closed. So if you have more space than this, you could throw some more blocks down there to give it some more depth. And then on the other side, if you wanted, you could just copy that and put it over here, but I wanted to give kind of just another example. So these doors right here, they look like they could maybe swing open or something. And again, I just used the wall detailed piece that I used for pretty much everything. I really like this block. It's really good. And again, I used the accent door that you saw on the other side here, except this time it might look like it would swing open like this, or it would maybe slide like this. So I guess you could open it a little bit if you wanted to. You know, you can go in there a little bit, but it is a bit cramped, so maybe you could even use this as storage or something. I don't know. It's really just up to you. But that's pretty much it. I made these pretty quick, and please feel free to use them. I really will not be offended if you copy and paste them into your maps. I want you to use that just so you can get the basic foundation of whatever you want to make. You know, I know it's hard to maybe come up with a base design right away, so if you want to build off of this, feel free to. I don't mind. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the near future.